There's no way I'll get past him. I've got to get rid of him somehow. Nina's cell must be behind this door.
That one has I'm not The wall doesn't make a very solid. Max? Hello? He doesn't seem to be here. Max? He doesn't... What a shame that I can't lure the guards here. I wonder what one could use that for. The last remains of the former glorious crocheted... And That one has... I'm not reaching it. I don't really want to know what...
Cheese soup. Either a live broadcast from the Antarctic or the effects of adjusting the satellite dish. A pin board with thousands of small notices, some instructions, naked women, telephone numbers, but nothing that brings me any Locked. The guard is in there, and that is the way it should stay. A heavy safety door. The guard is...
Locked. I suppose...
Quite honestly, I find... I've put a bit of that anesthetic on the needle. A hollow chair leg made of plastic. Hardly the newest model, but it fulfills its purpose. Don't believe that just walking... It doesn't look like it... This little bottle is pretty fragile.
The sweet smell of decomposition is the only reminder of what was once in here, whatever that might have been. What a shame that a hollow chair leg. You can look right through it. You can, but it's not obligatory. A hollow... Take that, scourge of every health authority. And I lay a bit out of my exclusive.
A small piece of foam rubber. The sponge sucks itself full of soup. The foam rubber soaked the cheese soup up and...
Whatever it is in there, if it is attracted to the smell, it'll grab its prey and disappear. It doesn't make much sense, really, does it? Tying things together seems... Whatever it is in there, tying things together... And I... Looks like it could work as a trap. Stress on the could. Without any bait. Whatever it is, if it is really true that mice and rats like cheese, then this aromatic piece of foam rubber must be the perfect bait. Trap, bait. Now all I need is the prey. The big game hunt can begin. Then let's have a look and see what we've caught. I like rats almost as much as I like the dentist and leg amputations.
Nina's little cellmate. Run as fast as you can and keep the guard busy for as long as you can. Good luck.
Just you wait, you little beast! I'll get you!
I'll put this thumbtack under the cushion so that the guard doesn't get suspicious.
Damn! That rat just slipped away from me! But wait, I'll get you next time! Ah! Spivak, you're a rat as well! But I'll get you too!
All is quiet. I hope the dose was strong enough. A bunch of keys.
I'm really happy to see you, and thanks for...
My pleasure, noble princess. Come on now, we have to go.
I'll just get my things together. Hopefully those guys haven't grabbed everything. Thanks, you two. I would hate to think what would have happened if you hadn't come along.
You don't have to, but we wouldn't let you rot anywhere in the sticks.
I knew that I could rely on you.
Anytime. If I had to, then I would even...
Could you postpone the niceties until later? We should get going. The people in the hospital are bound to notice your absence soon.
Yeah, I'm ready. Although,
What?
we must be really close to where my father used to set up camp on his earlier expeditions. Am I right?
Yes, that's true. But we really don't have any time for that. The hospital belongs to the Russian military, and when they sound the alarm, it will get extremely uncomfortable around here. We should first get out of here, and think about how we want to proceed along the way.
But...
No buts. The risk of landing here in the first place was already big enough. We are going. Max, I need your help to get the airplane ready for liftoff.
Oleg is right. We've got to get away from here first, and then we'll see what happens. Go on, get your things out of the Jeep and come.
Attention! Attention! An alarm has gone off in the neighboring military hospital. A female patient who is considered extremely dangerous has escaped. The military has been notified and several soldiers are on their way here. Until they arrive, no one is allowed to leave the airfield. Everyone is ordered to be on high alert. No one will be permitted to take off or land.
damn, they're looking for me already. What now? We'll meet here in a few hours.
I hope you have good news.
Unfortunately, no. Kalenkov is still missing.
I'm waiting for the good news.
Well, at least the others haven't found him yet either.
We are running out of time. The preparations for the project are almost finished and everyone is waiting for you to finally find the missing piece of the puzzle.
I'm doing my best. What should I do if...
Concentrate on his past. Someone has to know about Kalenkov's research, and if he can't tell us his secret himself, then others will just have to do it for him.
Hopefully Max and Oleg are all right. I suppose they weren't born yesterday. They'll get along with the soldiers somehow. And exactly how are we going to get away from here again, I don't yet know. We can brainstorm that later. In the meantime, I can try to find the camp from which my father started his expeditions. The thing is, where do I look? Apart from this tent, I have found no signs of human existence. Hopefully I can get some help here. I am not driving away from here until I have found out something at least that throws a little light on Daddy's kidnapping. A beautiful animal. Wouldn't it make a wonderful bedside rug? The fur is quite soft. It would definitely... Don't look at me like that, or I'll put my thoughts into action. Through a small hole in the lid, you can see that it's almost full of water. A box of matches from the nightclub lady. Sorry for simply barging in like this, but I'm looking for...
Medicine. Parchment. Burnt.
What? Which parchment? And what kind of medicine? I don't understand. The old guy seems to be in a kind of semi-conscious state. I'm not at all sure if he can even hear me. Obviously, he needs some kind of medication. I'll take a look around.
No.
The old guy obviously doesn't want me to take the statue. I'd better leave it here. The fireplace is already cold. A strange creature with its mouth open. It seems to be some type of nutcracker. This grill is... I need your...
Sin.
In his condition, I am hardly going to be able to talk to him. I'm afraid he's going to fall into a coma at any time. The old man doesn't look very well. I'm not going to get any further on my own, and if he doesn't get his medicine soon... These bits of parchment have been so badly fire damaged that they'll fall apart if I pick them up. The barrel has a fitted lid, and therefore I... Too big. Then I'll get on with my favorite hobby and start destroying things. And this is all that this spade and I leave over from the case. The tree is ancient. It must have survived the catastrophe undamaged, but that was 100 years ago. Only the bark is flaking off. But that would happen to me after a century as well. I definitely won't fell the tree with that. I'll limit myself to the bark. There's tree... What should I do with this drought victim? Good idea. I'll take the cup and reach into the steam. After a few seconds, my arm is perfectly done and ready to serve. A sharp stone. Not really the superlative in whetstones, but these scissors can't get any blunter. And how's that? It now cuts more than butter. Beautifully sharp again. I have no idea if it is under protection, but it is so pretty that I would really like to make an exception and leave it in one piece. The resin will probably burn into the cup. If I touch that stuff, pretty sticky. I don't want to follow the animal around this pasture all day long just to give it a new hairdo. Through a small hole in the lid, you can see that it's almost full of water. The bark is drenched in water and will probably... There are still pieces of parchment in the ash. If I put the wood in there, there's tree, beautifully sharp, and this is all that it makes a... They all look as if they're about to fall apart. One of the threads has come loose. I don't need any more of them, so I'll leave the tassels where they are. The trough is empty. Clearly, nobody seems to take very good care of the animals. If I pull the plug on that barrel, its contents will seep into the ground. That poor animal is drinking as if there were no tomorrow. Easy there, boy. I've tied the hair into a sort of ponytail. If I take the spoon, the hairs, and this thread, and Hey! It works! It will never be a masterpiece of contemporary art, but it will serve its purpose admirably. What do you want me to paint it with? The barrel has a fitted lid and resin at the bottom, water on top, and cup surrounding it all. It will never be a masterpiece of Through heating, the water and the resin have mixed. The resin is almost runny now. If I paint the resin very carefully over the parchment pieces, it worked! 5 parts of the source of life, 2 parts of root of tears, 1 part blood of the night, 3 parts drops of intoxication, to be taken shortly before it unites with the wind. What effect it is supposed to have isn't noted, just as much as how to get each ingredient. 5 parts of the source of life, 2 parts of root of tears, 1 part blood of the night. What effect the fire making fire is becoming one. I need your help.
Sin.
In his condition, what should I do with Siberian gentian leek? Seems to be the only plant. A failed and abandoned attempt to plant and raise a tomato plant, known to the biologist as Solanum lycopersicum. For others, love or paradise apple, a member of the nightshade family. 5 parts of the source of life, 2 parts of root of tears, what effect it is supposed to have. What should I do with this drought victim? The sulfur fumes have gone, only that horrible. I have no idea if it is under protection. I know. They're under the protection of nature conservation laws. I'll be very careful. It is almost... If I touch... I could press out the gentian bulb with that, but then the... One of those things comprising of 3 billion threads. This grill is... It makes a... Making fire is becoming one of my specialties.
No.
The old guy... It makes 5 parts. What effect... It is... This... A beautiful animal. The tree is ancient. It must have... A failed and a... This thing has... There's no reception. A box of... The sulfur fumes have gone. The... A failed and abandoned... What should I do with this drought victim? If I touch... If I continue to take such loving care of these animals, I'll never be able to save myself from offers of membership from every conservation organization in the country. A beautiful animal. The barrel is now empty. Hey, old man, wake up. Is this the recipe for your medicine? It really does seem to be the recipe. The old guy wants me to prepare it in this vial. I'll have to hurry preparing his medicine. He's not going to hold out for much longer. The shepherd gave me the small vial. Five parts from the source of life. Got it. The plant will... The following ingredient... Five parts of the source of life. 2 parts of root of tears. What effect it is... The plant... I could... Well, that must be the right doses, depending, of course, on the bulb being meant as the root of tears. The following ingredients are in the vial. 2 parts root of tears, 5 parts source of life. The medicine is not... 5 parts of the source of life, 2 parts of root of tears, 1 part blood of... What effect...
No.
The old... One of those things... I should get all the ingredients. The 5 parts of the source of life, 2 parts of root of tears, 1 part blood of the night, 3 parts drops of intoxication, to be taken... What effect... I need...
Me.
In his The medicine... I hope I've managed at least... Pretty sticky, this stuff. If I touch... What should I do? A failed and abandoned... The sulfur... 5 parts of the... What effect... A failed and abandoned attempt to... The following... 5 parts of the source of life, 2 parts of root of tears, 1 part blood of the night. What effect... A failed and abandoned attempt to plant and... What should I do with this drought victim? What should I... It makes a... This thing has all... If I continue to take such... I hope I've managed at least to get the doses halfway exact. I am not... It's a pity that civilization has progressed even into deepest Russia. First aid? Only first aid for alcoholics. 1 bottle of vodka and nothing else. No bandages, no painkillers. Apart from the vodka, of course. It's a pity that civilization... This is obviously a few drops of the intoxication. A tomato ketchup sachet with any luck. Ketchup is made of tomatoes. Tomatoes belong to the nightshade family. That could be the connection to the blood of the night reference. I'll try it. I must have all of the ingredients together now. The recipe says something about taking it shortly before it unites with the wind. Whatever that's supposed to mean. Hopefully this witch's brew doesn't blow up in my face. I have no idea when the stuff is ready, but before it all evaporates... Evaporate! That's it! To be taken before it unites with the wind. Then the medicine must be finished. I wouldn't drink that for all the money... I wouldn't drink that for all the money... Drink, old man. I hope that helps.
Thanks.
My pleasure. What happened?
A little difference of opinion with the guards.
Guards? From the research station?
Yes, Oh, it's not important.
Not so important. You nearly died.
But I'm alive. And you aren't just here to help me, are you? You have some questions.
Yes. How did you know?
Your eyes betray you. The eyes betray everyone. And your eyes, I know your eyes. They were here once a long time ago.
Me? I was most certainly not.
Yes, they were. But they weren't in the body of a young woman. You're the daughter of... What was his name again?
Vladimir Kalenkow? You know my father?
Yes. Vladimir was his name. He came to me back then like you are today, with the same eyes.
I need your help. If you knew my father, then you can also tell me what happened here all those years ago.
I'm only a shepherd. I've always been a shepherd, and I will remain a shepherd for the rest of my life.
But...
I know my place in life, and you should know yours too. Listen to the words of a simple man. My son didn't listen to me.
What do you mean?
You want to know what happened here almost 50 years ago, and what is happening here today. My son was also curious. He didn't want to listen to me. He found a strange piece of metal in the woods, and he asked questions. The wrong questions to the wrong people. I never saw him again. There are things that we are just not meant for. if we don't realize this.
Old man, your words may be very wise, but my father is in danger and I need your help.
I know. I can see it in your eyes. You really are just like your father. I also warned him, but he didn't want to listen to me either. He entered the cursed realm of the Ugdi, the evil thunderbirds that have been sent to cause endless sickness since the year of the great catastrophe. Your father ignored my warning, and his companion must have paid dearly for it. I know that I cannot stop you, so I will tell you where your father had his camp back then. Follow the northern path until you reach the swamps, and you will find what you are looking for. But always remember my words. Be careful in everything you do. Things happen here that no one can even begin to imagine.
The Evink was right. The atmosphere here is real strange. So unreal. Even if perhaps a good portion of superstition is involved, I have a strange feeling here. And then this story with the thunderbirds and the endless sickness. Pull yourself together, Nina. You're just exhausted. There are no thunderbirds, and any phenomenon, no matter how mysterious, can be explained rationally. Hopefully. That must be the site that the old man spoke of. My father started his expeditions from here. Maybe I'll find an explanation here of how the events of the past link with the kidnapping of my father. I should probably watch out where I'm stepping. One false step could be my last one. The small windows are absolutely filthy. It won't work without electricity. An 8mm film projector, considering its age and the fact that it's not professionally handled here, it is not in bad condition. Nothing happens. A small metal pin. An old rag. The rag is soaked through. A saturated... There is nothing special to see, but then again, it is pitch black in there. I would never have dreamed that one day I would clean out a chimney from the inside. We don't want to take things to extreme. This is obviously what is considered in the area to be a comprehensive, all-purpose first aid measure. There is nothing special to see. The small window. Inside, the windows are almost. As an obedient little housewife, of course I know what my duties are. There, finished. Shall I make dinner now as well? It won't work with... The sunlight makes the hut look a little... Nothing happened. A small There is nothing special to see. A generator. There is obviously no more fuel in it. That would have been too good. An old drinking water tank. There is obviously no more fuel in it. That would have been too good. A generator, supplying the hut with power. If I remember correctly, then that thing has something to do with magnetism and producing electricity. It looks like a garden hose. Time has been gnawing away at it, but there don't seem to be any large cracks or holes in it. It is light enough here, and I don't want to waste any petroleum. Wow, what a monster! I have to ask, even if I'm talking to myself, how did that thing get here? That must be a tributary of the stony Tunguska. It's not the river's fault, but I'm starting to hate that name. There still seems to be a bit of diesel oil in there. This has been plundered. Everything that can be taken off and carried is gone. There are only 2 small nuts here, and I am having them. I've hung the hose into the tank. That must be the research station that the transit train was supposed to be going to. Has it even arrived there at all? The research station is certainly impressive. It even has its own runway, and probably just as impressively secured. I can forget getting in there. I'm not even sure that I want to go in anyway. After all, I have heard and read about this station and the place it was built on. Anyway, the station does radiate a certain fascination. Not a positive one, and the longer I look, the more I get the shivers. I better make my way back. There's a lot to do, and I still don't know what secret out of Daddy's past is concealed here. The river drops about 30 meters here. It's a very impressive sight. The whole station looks like out of a science fiction movie. Hardly believable. I'll light the lamp. Now that the suit is off, I can see numbers written on it. 7.5, 3, 10.5, 6. A small bit of nothing happens. Nothing. An old drinking well. A bit of petroleum. A saturated. Wow, what a. There's still plenty of vodka in there. If I want the one spirit, I think I will have to get rid of the other. Nastarovia! Oops, I think I'm a bit out of practice. That's the last bit of diesel out of the truck, the once proud juggernaut of the roads. Pitiful, isn't it? That's what I call quality craftsmanship. Over 50 years old, and it still works like it did when it came out of the factory. If I remember... A generator. There is no roll of film in there. Nothing happened. Now that the suit is off, I can see nothing. Are shards always broken, or are there whole shards? An interesting question. I'll have to ask my former philosophy professor. I've wrapped the tinfoil around the broken glass. An 8mm film. Nothing happened. I should probably... It is like... An old... Because of the tin foil, the shard is no longer transparent. There is no... An 8mm... The sunlight... Wow. That's the last bit of... Wow. That must be a tribute. The river drop. A box of matches from the... This thing it make a saturate. Because of the tin foil, the shard is no longer transparent. A bit of petrol. A nut. A nut. The river drop. There's no reception here. That must... If I remember correctly... I'll hold both nuts close to the coils, but not too close, otherwise I'll be toast. As a result, they seem to have become magnetized. Now that the suit is off, I can see numbers written on it. 7.5, 3, 10.5, 6. That's strange. Obviously, the compass needle only moves when I press the button. I seem to have triggered a mechanism, but nothing has happened yet. This grinding noise sounds like my father's safe at home when I've just tried a wrong combination. I can probably start again now. Nothing happens. Secret compartment. There are a few old documents and a roll of film in there. I'll have a look at the documents. Maybe my father left them there. Yes, indeed. He describes that the 1958 expedition apparently could not provide an explanation why the plant growth has changed so much here since the catastrophe of 1908. The discovery of a meteorite, hoped for by the government as a cause of the devastating explosion, also did not materialize. For this reason, neither my father in his function as the leader of the expedition, nor the biologist, Ken Morangi, could provide an unambiguous conclusion, which obviously was not regarded favorably by the authorities. Oh, and they are also briefly mentioning Oleg here, but apparently he was not that important. I guess I'd better not tell him that. Years later, in his function as a geologist at the Academy of Sciences in Moscow, my father examined a strange piece of metal that had been found in the Tunguska region. He then was able to prove its non-terrestrial origins, which breathed new life into the meteorite theory. However, upon further analysis, he and his colleague Manuel Perez discovered traces that indicated that the metal had been worked. When they wanted to publish their discovery in the Kalenkov Expert, it was completely, surprisingly, rejected, and they were forbidden any further examination of the rock. When my father continued to inquire about the happenings in the Tunguska region, he was dismissed from the Academy of Sciences. The last entries are from 1977. Obviously, he and Manuel Perez went to the Tunguska region on their own. They hoped to find additional fragments of that strange material so they could continue their studies. What the goal was and what happened isn't written down in here. In addition, I have this burning desire to know what is going on with this fragment. On the one hand, it's probably not of terrestrial origin, but on the other hand, it was processed. That would mean the old Evank also said something about his son finding some metal fragment in the woods and then suddenly disappearing. That would fit in with the fact that my father was even thrown out of the Academy of Sciences due to his analysis. I hope that I will find some more answers on that roll of film. Damn, the bulb has burned out. It's not possible to just pop around to the shops and get another around this place. So now is the time to think of something else. Yep, that should work. Since it's rather dark in here, the light reflected by my modified glass shard should do it.
So, Manuel, the camera's rolling.
Please excuse me for a moment. I'll be right back.
Manuel!
What was that? Lightning? Or sheet lightning? And what happened to this Manuel Perez? That sounded like an explosion. I should see what's going on. Looks as if half the station exploded.
Come on, come on! Move your asses! The intruders have to be around here somewhere. We'll get them. Spread out.
Oh, my head. What was that? Feels like someone sifted through my thoughts.
There's someone up there. Get them!
Damn. I have to get away from here. Thanks. That was close.
No problem. I told you that I would catch you if you were ever standing on the edge of a precipice. What happened? We just saw that some areas of the research station were in flames, and suddenly there were soldiers everywhere.
I don't know much more either. Suddenly, two strange figures appeared in front of me out of nowhere.
From the FSB?
No, they weren't agents. I'm not really sure. This may sound kind of stupid, but I'm not even sure if they were human.
What?
I don't know how I should describe it. It was more like a feeling that I got from them.
What did they want? Did they say anything?
They didn't really speak. It was more like voices inside my head. It was as if they were looking for an answer.
What kind of answer?
I don't know how to describe the feeling. It was as if my head was going to explode. I've never experienced pain like that. And then suddenly, I knew that I wanted to tell them everything. It was suddenly so clear.
You told them everything?
No. Before I could say anything, the soldiers came and the two figures disappeared as suddenly as they appeared. Where are we flying to anyway?
In the meantime, Sergei has found out that your father was never in Moscow. So it almost looks as if the entire trip was pretty much in vain.
No, on the contrary. I'm now sure that my father was kidnapped for some reason that has to do with the Tunguska catastrophe.
How come?
I found some of my father's old documents. If I haven't misunderstood them, he was on the trail of something big, and I have a name. Manuel Perez. He was with my father back then, and we also know approximately where he is now.
Yes, in a mental institution on Cuba. Great lead.
It's gotta be worth a try. And there's another name on the list. This Irish biologist, Ken Morangi.
That's right. I know that I have already asked a lot from you two, and I'm deeply indebted to you. And I would understand...
Stop rambling. What's your plan? You're heading to Cuba and I'm heading to Ireland?
You'd really do that?
You can pay me back some other time. For example, by buying me a cup of hot coffee.
Max, you're a sweetheart.
And don't you ever forget it.
Oleg, I'm not usually like that. But what should I do? Besides you two, I don't have anyone who could help me. And if my father...
It's okay. We enjoy helping you, honestly. So don't worry about us. Concentrate on your dad.
Yeah, okay. We already found the psychiatric hospital. I only hope that this Perez is still here.
Why shouldn't he? But first I have to take care of some formalities. Will you be okay without me?
Sure. I can manage the 20 yards to the reception desk by myself. Go on. I'll be all right.
Okay. See you later.
Good afternoon. I'm looking for the sanatorium under the palms. Am I in the right place?
Good afternoon to you, too. Yes, as far as the name is concerned, you're in the right place.
As far as the name is concerned?
Well, it's the same with institutions as it is with political parties. The name isn't always the main concern.
How come? There are a bunch of palm trees here, aren't there?
Sure, there are palm trees here. But let's leave it at that. I've already said too much. How can I help you?
Oh, come on. What's going on here? What isn't right?
Nothing. I mean everything. Oh, it doesn't matter. What do you want?
That's a shame. I'm looking for a man named Manuel Perez. He's supposedly a patient here.
Ah, yes, could be. I don't know the patients. Go to reception on the left side. I'm sure someone can help you there. And if I can offer you a word of advice, be careful.
What? Why?
Just because. You look like you could use the warning, but be that as it may, I have to go back to my painting. Good luck.
A little while ago, you said that something wasn't right with this institution.
Me? No, I never said that.
But...
The weather is beautiful today, isn't it?
Yes, it's gorgeous. I understand. You paint during your shift?
Yeah, sure. If there's nothing to do, I paint a couple of pictures. Some of them are then hung up in the clinic.
Is there really that little to do?
What do you think? We don't exactly have concerts or events where thousands of people line up the night before. I've been working here for 2 years, and you are... If I haven't miscounted, you are the third visitor.
Oh. What do you usually paint?
Everything, really. Although, if I have to be honest, everything isn't necessarily a lot. At some point, you just run out of ideas when you can only paint from one position. So far, I've painted lots of palm trees, blades of grass, and even butterflies in various positions. I'm starting to get sick of it. I paint extra slow, you know. I used to paint a picture in 30 minutes. Now I take 30 hours, just to postpone the problem of choosing the next subject for the picture.
Well, then I wish you... What should I wish for?
Wish that we have a thunderstorm. Maybe some of the palm trees will fall down, and then I would have something new to paint.
Okay. Then I wish you have a thunderstorm.
Thanks. And if you happen to run across a great idea, then please let me know.
I'll leave you alone with your muse now.
Thanks. I'm still waiting for the kiss.
From me or from the muse?
Both.
Max knows what he has to do, and he won't really be able to help me much from so far away. It's full of dirty laundry. Laundry service. Next pickup Tuesday, 2:30 p.m. There are huge notches in it. It looks like somebody wildly attacked it with an axe. I hope I don't meet this someone. The construction worker probably would be less than enthused if I take his toy away. The food appears to have been tasty. The flies at least like it. A relatively small kitchen. It's obvious this hospital does not have all that many patients. Either that, or they are all on a diet. A bunch of fresh herbs and spices. Hello? Are you a member of the staff?
Me? No, heaven forbid. I'm here to repave the courtyard with asphalt. But to do that, I have to remove the old asphalt first. It's terribly hard work in this heat. I can tell you that.
I can imagine. By the way, I'm Nina.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Bernard.
Do you know a man named Manuel Perez?
Who's that?
One of the people inside.
A patient?
Yes.
No idea. I haven't had any contact with them. It's prohibited by the management.
Did you notice anything unusual about the Institute?
What do you mean by unusual? A couple of mentally challenged and a couple of doctors in a narrow room? At some point, it's difficult to differentiate between doctors and patients.
I feel the same way about dog owners. But did you notice anything unusual?
Apart from the fact that one of them is always screaming, screeching, or makes strange noises, truth be told, the Institute scares me a little.
Can you describe it a little more?
I don't know exactly. I just don't like it here. As soon as it gets dark, I make sure that I leave. and there isn't enough money in the world to get me to go in there.
Someone like him admitting just like that he is afraid without having a real reason for it? I should be cautious if I want to continue looking around here. Why is the courtyard being repaved? It still looks good. I've seen streets at home that look much worse.
No idea. You're right, though. It really isn't worthwhile for just a couple of patients. Whatever. I don't really care.
Who hired you?
Some Italian-American, Massimo Gattuso or something like that.
Massimo Gattuso?
Yes. He wants the courtyard to be finished in 3 days. It's completely unrealistic.
But you don't know why this courtyard is supposed to be repaved?
No.
Strange. How come someone like Massimo Gattuso has the rear yard of a net house in a Cuban hick town surfaced with asphalt? You have a bit of a stutter. Am I correct to assume that it's caused by a childhood trauma? Or did your first girlfriend disappoint you? What tragic story is behind it?
Have you ever worked 10 hours with a jackhammer and then tried to speak halfway normal?
Oh, no, not that I know of.
I thought so. Otherwise, you wouldn't ask a question like that.
Regarding your break...
Are you gonna deny me my break?
Oh, no, of course not.
Good. It's short enough as it is. The old lady will start smoking again soon, and then my work starts again.
What do you mean?
The cook. As soon as I see black coming out of the chimney back there again, I have to go back to work.
Smoke as a signal to get back to work? That somehow seems familiar to me. Don't you have a watch?
Nah, I don't need one. The old lady is accurate down to the last second.
Well, then enjoy the rest of your break.
I will.
I'll pile the pieces of wood like I would have learned in the Girl Scouts, had I joined them. A relatively small... A bunch of fresh herbs and spices. I'll just take one of them with me. The selection is done according to the proven method of random chance. A magazine with the promising title, let's just say, a rhetoric magazine. An invitation to a slideshow called Traditional Cigar Manufacturing Methods.
Only the staff is allowed in here.
Good afternoon.
Hello?
I'm looking for a man named Perez. Manuel Perez. He's supposed to be a patient here. May I speak with him?
Perez? Yeah, he's here. And who are you?
I am Nina Castro. I think it would be better if I did not tell the whole world my name. As long as I don't know who's behind my father's kidnapping, it's better to be too careful than not enough.
Sorry, you can't come in here without a special permit.
But it's really important.
Important? It's really important for me to keep my job and my health. And naturally, my incomparable good looks. That's what's really important.
I'm not asking you to release him. I just want to talk to him for a second.
Listen up, darling. Now that Mr. Gattuso has the say and Nicole Charlewell was put in charge, we all have to really watch ourselves.
Massimo Gattuso? The American billionaire with a gigantic mobile phone company?
That's the one. And in Cuba, the saying goes, whoever pays decides what's for dinner. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Are you afraid of your boss?
Me? Why should I?
I just had the impression.
It's misleading. It's definitely misleading.
She does want to talk. All I have to do is tickle her a little bit. The boss isn't even here, so you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, that's also what Pedro thought. But then...
And then?
Nothing. Leave me alone.
This Nicole Charleroi is pressuring the workers to such a degree that they are almost shitting their pants from fear. I hope I won't have to clash with her on top of everything else. Massimo Cartuzzo has bought himself a mental asylum in a sleepy town in Cuba. Don't you find that a bit strange?
I have my own theories, but I'd rather keep them to myself.
Come on, it could be really important.
Nothing is so important that a person could end up like...
Yes?
Nothing. Don't you think rhythmic cleaning will be a great business concept?
There are so many weird things happening here that I don't know where I should start being astonished. I have the feeling that it has to do with something real big. Unfortunately, my feelings do not tell me what that is. The music sure is loud!
Yeah, great, isn't it? I just got the disc and I've been listening to it non-stop for the last 3 days. It really keeps me going. It even makes it fun to clean. Actually, I wanted to be a dancer, but the market in this region is pretty saturated. So I had to invent a new discipline, rhythmic cleaning. I clean to the exact beat of the music. It also helps fight fatigue. I came up with it a few weeks ago and have been perfecting my technique ever since. We'll see, maybe if politics doesn't pan out, I can maybe offer a few courses for housewives. I think the demand for it is probably pretty high.
Yeah, I bet it is. You said something about if politics doesn't pan out. You're a politician?
Not yet, and I stress the word yet. There is an election in 2 weeks and I want to run.
As a politician?
Yeah, sure. Anything against it?
No, of course not. So you think you have a good chance?
Yes, I think so. I am staggeringly gorgeous, and I have already, let's just say, convinced 20% of the voters.
Oh.
But I don't want to be just one of many. I want to be the next female mayor. Unfortunately, I still need some more votes for that, but I'll get them. If only I knew how to get them.
Oh, you want to jump straight to being the mayor. How modest. What's your election platform?
Platform? No one reads it anyway. The only problem is that I just have 2 weeks and I'm still behind 120 men.
Yeah, that's cutting it close. Maybe you should try getting a platform after all.
Oh, it's much too expensive and no one is interested anyway. I just have to be able to convince more people all at once of my qualifications is all.
You mean...
Yeah, well, do you have a better idea?
I'll think about it. If I think of something, I'll let you know. Then I'll leave you to your hip swing again. Our Latin beauty probably would not be... The latest record by Toptic is on there. What a cool tune. In order to get to there, I would have to go through the House of Cards, and then there would be a slaughter here. I think it's better not to take them. As long as he's busy, he won't get any funny ideas, such as biting an ear off of poor little Nina. Hello. That's a nice house of cards you're building there.
Yeah. And now be quiet or the thing will fall again.
You look pretty determined. Are you getting money for this house of cards?
Money? No, not money. Glory. I'll be like my ancestors and go down in history.
As a house of cards builder?
Yes. Shay started the same way.
Che Guevara?
No. Chevrolet.
Okay, I understand. I'm going.
Okay. I have to hurry anyway before the earthquake starts again.
Earthquake?
Yeah, every afternoon. Just before I finish the tallest house of cards in the world, an earthquake comes and ruins everything again. But this time, I'll make it.
Nicole Charleroi. She's the director of the institute here, right?
Is she here?
No, I don't think so.
Ooh, don't scare me like that again.
Are you afraid of her?
Me? No, of course not. Shay was also never afraid. On the other hand, Shay also never had anything to do with psychopathic scientists.
What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all.
Can I borrow the copier for a second?
Sure. Bring down my house of cards, steal my glory, my pride, my last bit of self-respect. The spark of hope in my dreary routine, the little bit...
Yeah, okay. I'll just wait until you're finished. This institution gives a somewhat, well, strange impression. Was it always like that? Could you tell me a bit about it? Maybe you've noted something in particular.
Sure I can. But I won't. Otherwise I'll end up like... Oh, it doesn't matter.
No, it does matter. Otherwise you'll end up like whom?
Just like people who ask too many questions.
Watch out that your house of cards doesn't fall down.
Yeah, make sure you don't bring down my house of cards.
I think it's better not to take them, as long as he's nice. The gatekeeper appears to use this room as an interim storage. The record turns more slowly due to the weight. Still, sounds pretty good. Our Latin beauty probably would not be The latest record by Toptic is on there. What a cool tune.
Hello, would you like to join my... Okay.
One of these magazines should last me the rest of my life. There is a whole assortment of specialist... A magazine with the promising title... The future masterpieces of contemporary Cuban painting are created here. Whether they are justifiably rather unknown is something that others need to decide. I could intensify the rays of the sun with the glasses, but I don't think that it is enough to cause a forest fire. I knew that these kinds of pseudo-magazines could help in many situations. It is really astonishing how the old tricks continue to work again and again. I can't even walk across hot coals, let alone reach into burning fires. I think I will have to pull the coals out of the fire. I can't even walk across hot... The fire is burning... One charred piece of... A bit of burned wood... Hard at work, I see.
Well, anyone who works so hard is allowed to...
You're entitled. Does the name...
Not really.
She's supposed to be the boss.
Oh, her.
That bad?
Worse. She seems nice at first, but she's something between a Valkyrie and a battle axe.
Charming.
You asked me?
No.
Believe me, it only takes a few seconds, and that's enough for me.
Isn't your break done?
No, why?
I thought as soon as smoke comes out of the chimney...
If it's white smoke, that means the cook's still cooking. If it's black smoke, that the food is finished. And so is my break.
Oh. Well, then enjoy...
I will.